Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. Today, we're highlighting individuals who are helping others navigate life's challenges through support, advocacy, and empowerment. Later in the show, we'll meet Mike Smilo, founder of the Smilo Foundation, to learn how his organization is helping patients and caregivers better navigate complex diagnoses. But first, Elisa is an author and mental health advocate, while Sabrina Cosentino is an integrative wellness coach and founder of Within by Sabrina. Together, they created the Wellness Gala to foster connection, promote wellness, and support mental health awareness throughout the community. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Your gala looked amazing. I saw all the pics and videos on social. I'm sorry I couldn't be there because I was in dance mom mode.
Wow, we understand that.
That whole weekend, yes, that's a whole other world and conversation. But how did the Wellness Gala come to be?
So the Wellness Gala was created after I had my own traumatic experience in life. I had to go through treatment for an eating disorder. And when I was in treatment, there was a great support system in place for myself. Once I was discharged from the center, I realized I was lacking that support system. It definitely impeded my healing journey slightly by going from such a strong support system to a support system that wasn't educated on the topic. So I approached Sabrina and we sort of came up with this idea of the Wellness Gala to create a safe space for people to come together, tell their stories, and incorporate both mental health and physical health together to support each other through, hard times in life.
What kind of conversations are you hoping to help normalize?
I think just sharing your stories so people can really relate to other people going through these hard times. Our focus was a lot on mental health, but we are wellness as a whole. Elisa deals with, as an author in the book she wrote, it's a lot of emotional health. With my end of the wellness, with being an integrative holistic coach, you can see that it's a lot of healing there too. I'm dealing with people that not only need nutritional value in their everyday lives, but also a mindset. So it really did align with both of us. But we do also talk about physical fitness and physical health. So a lot of these conversations come to life that night.
Yeah, and it all ties hand in hand. At your event, you're not only having these very important conversations, but you're raising money for good causes.
Yeah, so every year we choose a different organization, a different nonprofit to receive, the proceeds from the event. So this year we chose the Jed Foundation, which is a suicide prevention, awareness and education nonprofit. Suicide is the second leading death among youth and young adults. So we thought it was very important to shed a light to that foundation who is making such a huge impact. They've reached over 8 million different children and young adults through their work. So that's incredible.
It really is. Talk about the partners that came out and supported the gala.
Wow, well, between the sponsors and also an advocacy award this year, we also had speakers that actually went through their own trauma that were able to speak to the crowd and talk a lot about their experience so people could relate and see that we can normalize this. There was a lot of people that just supported us in terms of family, friends, other networks we reached out to, leaders, advocates in the wellness space.
And everyone looks so good and stylish. And I have to probably credit one of your partners, Angie Hassan.
Yes.
Right? What was her involvement?
So Angie is a fashion stylist. People know her through her business that she has. I mean, she's very impressive. She's done the Met Gala to the Oscars and things of that sort. But she also has a business in wellness called The Revelist. So they actually powered our gala this year. And we aligned so much with their mission that we asked them to come on board with us. Their mission is basically they work with the pillar of emotional health. So in that sense, they were very much aligned with mental health.
Advocating for rest and self-care and things like that, which are very important, for physically and mentally.
Yeah,
Right.
very important, but it's hard to come by sometimes,
Yes,
right? When
of
you have your
course.
own businesses, kids,
Yes.
a husband, a house, etc. We thought we were busy when we were young.
Yeah.
I wish I knew sometimes,
I
right?
know, hindsight, right?
Let's talk about individually now, your business and your book and everything that you've created.
Yes. So I became an author after I came out of my treatment because, like I said, I found this space where we needed a support system. And so I wrote my book hoping that by using my voice and telling my story, creating that vulnerability piece, it would help other people open up. And I think that there is definitely a stigma surrounding, mental health and any type of mental health struggles. And I think we're not going to end this cycle of stigmas until somebody actually starts telling their story with raw vulnerability. If you've read my book, I don't sugarcoat anything. I put it exactly how it happened because I think that that's very important that people hear how bad it truly got so they can relate to you. Because if I tell my story and I sugarcoat it, then someone's going to say, oh, well, she didn't have it as bad as I do. Maybe my story's worse. I shouldn't talk about it. And the whole point is to open up the conversation. So vulnerability can be very uncomfortable, unfortunately. So a lot of people will stay quiet in their stories, but it's very important to use your voice to help others find their voices. And that was the whole point of my book, was to open the doors and to open that conversation for others to feel seen and heard.
What else are you doing in the advocacy space?
So I've been a keynote speaker for Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health. I've done a few events with them. I worked with Gotham FC. I did their Light the Torch event for their mental health awareness night. I was a keynote speaker for Anita Walk. So anywhere really I can tell my story and help others feel seen, I'm definitely open to doing that. And of course the gala takes a chunk of my time, but it's so meaningful that it's worth every moment that we pour into it, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And your business?
Yeah, so I started, I was certified in holistic wellness coaching. I was very interested always in wellness. It was definitely always at the forefront of my mind, but most of my career was in pharmaceutical sales. And being around physicians and seeing how they do treat, some diagnosis and diseases, it was a lot of treating the symptoms and not actually the cause. So I always wanted to dig a little bit deeper. Things were pulling at my heart in terms of why not find out what the root causes of these symptoms are. And that's when I really looked into becoming a holistic health coach. And I had gone to school while I was still working, and then eventually I just made it my full career. And I love it. I love helping people. A lot of people think it's a lot of nutrition, but it really is a lot of mindset, which brings me to Elisa and working together with Elisa and forming the gala.
Well, you two are a match made in heaven. What's on deck for 2027 and beyond?
Well, we do want to do maybe bring in some smaller events throughout the year, but the gala is something that will always stand out. It'll always be something we do possibly March this year, or maybe again we'll stick with Mental Health Month in May. But it is something that's becoming more and more successful each year that we do it, so it's something we will always continue. But definitely look out for more smaller events, maybe some in physical fitness, maybe some in just emotional health with Revelist again. So it's a lot of exciting stuff.
Well, where can people find out more about, first, the Wellness Gala?
Right.
They can go to our website, which is wellnessgala.org. And we're also all over, social media with Wellness Gala. So you can contact us in any of those avenues.
And then where can we find out more about you and the book?
My book is sold on any major platform. But if you want to find out more about me and my speaking events, you can go to elishay.com.
Great. And how about you?
You can find me at Within by Sabrina on Instagram, and also withinbysabrina.com is my website.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
here.
for having us.
And best of luck to both of you in your respective and collective journeys.
Yes.
And we look forward to hopefully attending the gala next year.
Yes.
Hopefully the dance schedule aligns.
Yes, we'd love to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Mike Smilo, founder of the Smilo Foundation, an organization dedicated to helping patients and caregivers better navigate complex diagnoses and become stronger advocates in their own care. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You are a third-time guest. The first time we met was when we were doing all virtual interviews and you came on to promote Bang Cookies, one of the many businesses that you have. Little did we both know that soon after that interview, like days later, you got diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, stage 4 cancer. I had a lot of soreness in my body and scattered thoughts, but I was working around the clock, you know, with all the businesses I was part of. And I thought it's just the entrepreneur that runs sleepless nights and networking. And then I always chalked it up to just pains, my shoulder pains. So I went to doctors. They're like, yeah, your shoulders are bad because you dislocated in high school. And then another doctor was like, oh, it's arthritis, you know. And then I went to even oncologists for, well, not the oncologist yet, but for other doctors, PTs. I went to orthopedic surgeons, and they all just dismissed my pains, saying that I'm getting older and that I had a daughter on the way, and it's just sleepless nights. And finally, I spoke to one final orthopedic surgeon, and he said, your pain's not right. It doesn't seem right. And I had another friend of mine who runs an emergency room clinic and basically brought me in there and did a full MRIs and CAT scans, and then I found out I had cancer across my entire body. But then I did immunotherapy, which is, you know, your standards of care in, you know, here in the U.S. That stopped working after a year. So really, it came back very bad with fierce, and then became LMD, which is leptomeningeal or disease, which means it went into my my brain fluid, my CNS, and that's what made it, you know, tough, because when it's in your CNS, it's not a tumor that you can radiate, or so it just, the prognosis was horrible. They gave me weeks to live at that time.
And this is all stemming from a melanoma.
Yeah, from melanoma. Yep.
Was it was it a
Yeah.
beauty mark?
It's yeah, I had that, and that's another thing. I had that on my back, I had it on my chest, but they were like, that's just, yeah, beauty marks or moles. But really, that was malignant melanoma, and yeah.
So many people missed what
it, yeah.
had going on with you.
100%. And I self-advocate, and that's why I promote it now. Self-advocation. I mean, you have to be out there if something doesn't feel right. It's probably not right. So
once the immunotherapy stopped working,
yeah.
you are not one to lay down and accept defeat. What did you do?
At that point, it's survival. So once it stopped working, they wanted me to go onto chemo. But then with my diagnosis with LMD, chemo doesn't work. So that would just prolong in my life. And then they basically gave me weeks to live. At that point, I wasn't taking that for an answer. So I did whatever I can to network with whoever I can. I had friends, one of my friends, Bijou, you know, Harvard, he studies genetics. And I looked at my genomic sequencing, which means like my tumor's genomic profile, which most people don't even know what that means. And that was able to tell that I had certain genetic mutations that make me maybe favorable for certain treatments that are outside of your standards of care, which is chemo and radiation and all that other, and immunotherapy. So I was able to find what this is, and I found out my genetic mutations. He was able to pinpoint different types of trials across the world that are trialing for my genomic sequencing of my melanoma cancer cells. And I reached out to the clinics. I couldn't get in because my LMD was, it's like the prognosis is poor, and they didn't want to, you know, for the phase 2 trials, I wasn't going to be in it. I was able to network, get in as a 31st patient on this trial. And now I flew back to Germany a couple of weeks ago because I had such success with such a poor prognosis of my cancer that they wanted to study me more.
Of course. You know. Talk about going to Germany, though, initially. You have 2 babies at home that you left for 5 weeks.
Yep. Another thing that, I won't say misdiagnosed, but the doctors didn't know that I had active cancer tumors in my brain as well. And this is part of the reason why I lost a lot of my memory, is not because of the cancer, but it's because of the TCR I had done attacked my my brain, and now my short-term memory has, and a lot of my long-term memory is gone. But when I went there, I had my daughter on the way and everything too. And when I woke up from it, I didn't even know I had kids. So I have that on a video, which is pretty bad. But at that time when I got out of it, my fever was 104, almost 105 degrees. They were about to put me into ICU in Germany, and then kept waiting, and then suddenly my temperature went down, and it was a miracle.
And what was, in layman's terms,
yeah,
the technology that was used on you to
I
knock
had
the cancer out?
TCR, which is like, it's like a cell-based therapy. So basically what they did is they take out my T cells and they vamp it up with my genetic mutations. They're basically heat-seeking missiles is what I say. So they take my cells out, they supercharge my T cells, equipped with like these heat-seeking missiles that find my genetic mutations. So in ideal scenarios, which is mine right now, my body's going to continue to create these T cells that will continue to target my cancer cells. That's the technology. It's not, you know, it's not here in the US right now, so it's still in trials.
And you said you just went back to Germany a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're not completely rid of the cancer, but
No.
it's significantly reduced.
Yes, significantly reduced. Wow, it was like a miracle. MD Anderson, well, Sloan Kettering said the same thing, but spoke to one of their lead oncologists, said that they've never seen, with some, like a patient with LMD, with what I had with stage 4 melanoma, they've never seen progress like this in history. Like, so the progress I've had was incredible, and you know, I thank God every day. And
so despite fighting for your life for 2 years and flying to Germany, and you're such an entrepreneur by heart, memory loss, the whole thing. A creator is a creator, though.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
Yeah.
And you weren't going to let this opportunity pass you by, which is why you formed the Smilo Foundation.
Yeah.
What is its mission?
Yeah, the mission of Smilo Foundation is for self-advocate. So it's really given people the tools to find other treatments outside of the standards of care, and I hate to say it, in right now that are available to most people, which is chemo, which is just prolonging life usually. Don't get me wrong, I've learned a lot. There are certain receptors of chemotherapy that can actually help you long term and actually put you in remission. I've you know, there are people out there, but the majority it's just prolonging life. But the mission here is to be able to have people upload their information to portals. We'd be able to use our geneticists to find out, you know, scour the universe and look and the trial website and just enable people to better advocate and see what's out there, and then be able to contact different trials or even outside the trials. But there's actually cures of cancer out there. I'm one of them. Like I had an 8-week prognosis to live. So if I was able to fight this, you know, there's a lot of people out there who can, you know, save themselves. But, you know, I also used my entire network, and I did everything to self-advocate to find the answers that I got, and now I want to pay it forward to people. And, you know, it's a nonprofit we formed, the Smilo Foundation, but eventually there's a lot in the works where there's going to be, you know, other things going on with that. But right now, you know, we post it online with certain things on social media.
You're very open. Now, you're a person that this was a secret for a long time. You had told me right after our first show aired that you got diagnosed, and it really took you a good year to finally get the courage, and now it's everywhere.
Now it's everywhere, yeah.
What was the switch?
Oh man, I think it was turning my pain into purpose, literally is what it was. And if there's, you know, if I was given another chance at life, like what can I do to help other people? So I have other businesses, and I think every business I get involved in is mission driven, but this one means a lot to me, and I think I could provide hope to a lot of people because my case was not a good case, and if I can do it, anybody can do it if they have the right resources and can find the ways.
The people reaching out to you, they're from all over the world.
Over the world, yeah.
It has to be overwhelming
Yeah.
to talk to them and mentor them. So do you have a team now that you're building that can manage all of this?
Yeah, we have, we're building out a team, so we have geneticists, like we have scientists on the team, we have doctors on the board, and and we have social media managers, because it's tough, because it was so personal to me. I would, you know, try to get back to everybody, but when I'm getting like, you know, millions of views and thousands of DMs, it's tough to manage. But when you have like a mom reaching out about their kid, you know, going through cancer, or, you know, someone and their mother, and, you know, just hearing this, it just was eating me up. So I had to like try to allocate time for myself, and, you know, getting back into wellness and everything, because it was just a lot for me to handle, you know, just seeing people just have no access to know what's out there other than chemo or you know. So I'm just hoping I can really make an impact in the world. I know I can, because I already am with just Instagram and Facebook. You know, just people are like, "Well, I've never heard of this." So,
do you think about the future, or do you take it day by day?
Yeah, so I've always thought about the future, and now that I realize, like, and I actually have friends tell me that they're like, you were involved in everything, and that almost kind of worked for my demise, because it just stressed me. I was working around the clock on all the different business and mission purposes, but I always wanted to do that so I can create something, and then I could just coast into the sunset. It just happened, you know, really soon. And now it's about building legacy. It's always been about building legacy, but now if I can do something that's going to help millions of other people and just get the word out there, I'm going to use the platform that we built to do so. And with the platforms we built, we're reaching literally people around the world right now that are reaching out to us. So
where can people find out more about you and to support?
Yeah, so we have, you know, we're working on the website and we're working on the technology in the background, but it's called the Smilo Foundation, and we have our Instagram page there, Facebook, but I'm Smilo and I have my personal page because I went through this myself, but eventually there's a tool that we're going to announce sometime very soon, which is disruptive in the technology platform that we're working on right now with a lot of smart people. They're a lot smarter than me and making this actually a reality, and that's going to help soon. And I know we're going to save thousands and millions of people's lives because we're already touching a lot of people around the world. So.
Well, we continue praying for you.
Yeah.
We hope that those T cells, whatever you got cooking in there, just kills everything bad off, and you get to live a beautiful life.
No, thank you. I know that we've been through, but it's tough because even going out and, you know, seeing you in, you know, inside, I feel like I've known you for forever, but I don't really know how long it's been. And we've worked with Bane Cookies and Archangel, you know, but you know, this is now a mission that's really near and dear to me, and I know we're going to help so many people. And originally with Smilo Foundation, it's a nonprofit, and we're going to try to make it accessible to so many people. Because a lot of the questions they ask is like, yeah, but how do you afford something like this? But we're trying to build it where, you know, we're going to be able to provide this to everybody.
Oh, so you'll do fundraising?
Yes.
Through the foundation, and then give people access to alternative treatment?
Absolutely, and that's kind of where we're going to differentiate, is we're going to, you know, be able to show the results directly and the impact on people, so the money will be utilized to help people find the cure versus, you know, all black hole that you know where the money's going to. So that's what our mission is right now, and really it's to find alternative treatment paths because they're out there, you know, as of now, which again I have faith, but I beat all odds. I had again an 8-week prognosis at that time.
It's always a pleasure having you on. I can't wait to have you on again.
Yeah.
Talking about the next venture or, you know, more successes of this one. But we always are with you, praying with you, and we just wish you a happy and healthy life.
No, thank you so much. And we are going to have a cookie on Bane Cookies called Cookies Against Cancer. So we're going to do release another cookie, which is going to, you know, raise awareness, but also money for the foundation, you know, for cancer. So that's our next initiative with Bane Cookies.
Can't wait to try that.
Yeah, I know.
Your cookies are banging. Yes.
They are banging.
Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's always good to see you.
Same here. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.